وارحمنا يا مولانا يا رب سلم يا وأكرمنا وارحمنا يا مولانا. I've been searching for you for some time now. It hasn't been easy, but I'll find you somehow. I know the road is long, but with me, yeah. I sacrifice everything that comes in my way just for you, so I can find you, be with you, and be. It's all I ever want is to be with you, holding you. Yes, you, yes, you. يا ربي سلمنا وأكرمنا وارحمنا يا مولانا يا ربي سلمنا وأكرمنا.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Peter Marisburg, 105.6 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhama bikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. All praises be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What an abundance of salutations to be our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You are tuned into the BU4U Show with myself, Mehreen Mia, coming to you live from Peter Marisburg on 105.6 FM. And if you're in Durban and surrounds, you're listening to me on 90.4 FM. Wherever you are in the world, and if you're live streaming through to us, we extend to you a very, very warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And you know what? Wherever you are, hoping that your day is going fantastically well. It's a beautiful day here in Peter Marisburg. The weather is fantastic. Seriously, I mean, even though we're having the 4 seasons in the day, let's not complain, okay? It's a beautiful day nonetheless. This show is exactly what it's called. It's about you. It is for you, and of course, to make the best of you and myself for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I always do, before I go any further, thank you so much goes out to my brother Kumalo here in PMB, and of course, my amazing brother there in Durban, Brother Spoo. Thank you so much to the text. Without them, you won't be hearing me. It's a text run boss. Okay. Today's program, we are looking at sacrifice for growth, something I think we need to talk about because we're talking about sacrifice this past couple of days, but let's talk about it with a different angle today. However, before we continue, let's begin with Salawat. Stay tuned.
Now on 060-904-1056.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. يا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه به وسلم. Oh my Lord, my sins are like the highest mountain. My good deeds are very few, they're like a small pebble. I turn to you, my heart full of shame, my eyes full of tears. Bestow your forgiveness and mercy upon me. Ya Allah, send your peace and blessings on the final prophet and his family and companions and those who follow him. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
This segment is brought to you by Kenfield Auto, your RMI approved service and repair specialist. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Kenfield Auto.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا.
Problem start?
Kenfield Auto.
Noisy brakes?
Kenfield Auto.
Due for a service?
Kenfield Auto. Kenfield Auto. The answer to all your car problems. Your service and repair specialist for your VW, Audi, Suzuki, Toyota, or just about any vehicle. Kenfield Auto, your RMI and insurance approved workshop. Follow the red and white board in the passage at 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Call Shafi on 031 207 2399. Kenfield Auto.
Call us now on 0861 904 904.
ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. Invite all to the way of your Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching and reason with them in a way that is best and most gracious. Join Shabir Pasha every Saturday at 7 p.m. on the show Dawa Dynamics and every Sunday on the Dawa Chronicles at 9 p.m. Remembering the companions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Join the discussion, analyze the life, sacrifices and contributions of the Prophet's companions and learn from their experience.
We are unity, and you are listening to Radio Al Ansar.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the BU4U Show, produced and presented by myself, Mehreen Mia, and we're coming to you live from PMB, as you heard, on 105.6 FM. If you're in Durban and surround, you're listening to us on 90.4 FM. Thank you so much for joining us, and today we are talking about sacrifice. Okay, we just had Eid al-Adha. It's continuing, actually, because remember, you are doing your takbir until tomorrow, inshallah. But here's the thing about sacrifice, though. It's not just about the sacrifice of that animal. It is about the sacrifices that we have to make, sometimes to make ourselves work better. And that's what we're talking about today. Our internal individualistic sacrifices. What do we do? How do we do it? And how does the sacrifice actually help us to grow and become even better? Let's talk about what that means, though. So answer me, well, in your own way, what does sacrifice mean for you right now? Because sacrifice mustn't be seen as a kind of a loss, okay? It needs to be seen as, I think, maybe like an exchange of some sorts, because you're not losing anything. You're actually kind of swapping something for another. Every minute, every bit of money that you spend, or every yes that you put into something, that question is, what are you buying with whatever you're spending money with? So remember, for example, if you take your phone and you start scrolling, right? You're scrolling by is kind of like a 3-second laugh. You can have a laugh for like a few seconds and that's it, because you keep scrolling and scrolling. It's another 3 seconds and then these 3 seconds. And before you know it, like 2 hours have gone by. What have you actually bought with that time? Not much. You just bought a few laughs and you don't even know what laugh was for. When you sleep properly, for example, that's going to kind of buy you focus. It's going to buy you a better mood. It's going to buy you a future where you don't feel drained at, for example, 2 o'clock in the afternoon already. So when you see sacrifice as that kind of an exchange, I am swapping this for that, and I know it's going to be better for me later. You stop feeling as if something is robbing you from something. You start actually looking for how your life will depend on the sacrifice. So remember, the moment you choose what you're actually sacrificing and the reason for it, you take back that power. That power is so important because we keep giving that power away. And you're no longer a victim then of time. You're actually an investor of your time. And if you want to be investing of your time for something that's beneficial for you, sometimes the sacrifices are important. They're necessary. And what comes with sacrifice most often? Something we don't often talk about and don't like: pain. Pain comes with sacrifice. And pain is the one that pain is not the stop sign. If you're feeling pain, if you have something going on with you, if it's difficult, right? That burn in your lung means that your body is adapting to what you're doing. So if you, for silence is not a bad thing. The silence is a good thing because you are standing for you. So remember, if you're going to run away from all the pain, you're going to just stay soft. But if you start to stay with it, you grow through your pains, you become an upgraded you. And the next time something hurts you, you're going to actually start to hear yourself whisper to yourself about that pain that, you know what, something is working, because it actually is. It never goes without something. You know, we always say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His wisdom and His mercy always gives to us what He knows we can handle. So sometimes pain becomes so much. And most often we go through things where we feel like today something is happening and the next thing is happening afterward. And it's like a roller coaster of stuff that's going wrong at the same time, between the pains you're feeling with your body and then your mental health, and then suddenly you're emotionally drained. Everything can go wrong at the same time sometimes. Guess what happens when that happens? You're coming out a renewed version of you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His wisdom has given you all of that only because He knows you can get through it. There's nothing that gets put to you because it's a question mark. It's always getting put to you because somebody out there who's higher than you, who created you, knows that He's put you there and He's given you this as an entrusted battle because He knows you're His soldier, and He knows what? The soldier's going to win that battle for himself or herself. So are you that soldier right now who's willing to make those sacrifices for your own growth? Are you even looking to yourself to know, what about me do I have to be aware of that needs to shift? Do I need to change? What about me needs to be sacrificed maybe so that I can be better for the balance of my journey of my life? What habits do I have that are kind of too comfortable? I don't want to get out of because it's my comfort zone, but I know I need to get rid of this habit because it is draining me. Which person is around me in my tribe that I know drains my every second, but I'm there because I feel a kind of, I have to be there for them. And yet it drains my every being because I can't handle it anymore. What sacrifices do you need to make to become the best of you? Because remember, the best of you ultimately means you are the best of the soldiers for your Creator. That's what we're all here to do. With that, I'm going to go for a very quick break, and inshallah, we'll be back after this. Stay tuned.
When disaster strikes, families lose everything in an instant. Homes destroyed, communities displaced, hope fades into uncertainty. Our Global Emergency Fund ensures we respond without delay, delivering food, water, shelter, and healthcare to families in need. To support our Global Emergency Fund, visit islamicrelief.org.za.
Get ready for Green Thumbs Up, the gardening and natural living show you didn't know you needed. I'm your host and life coach, Rabia Carvalho, and we're talking birds, bees, butterflies, and blooms, growing food and garden rooms, home-based holistic healing, and much more. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or nature lover, plant assassin, or permaculture professional, we got you. We got you. Let us bring you the ideas, the facts, support, and inspiration to go green wherever you are. Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. only on Radio Al Ansar.
Radio Al Ansar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the BU4U Show with myself, Mehreen Mia. Today we are talking about sacrifice and sacrifice for your growth. What does it mean for you? How can we become the best version we can be for ourselves? Because remember, ultimately everything is about us, our choices. What do we want to do? What do we want to say? And more importantly, what can we make to make the difference? What changes do we have to make that difference, right? Remember that most of the time we talk about this version of you. We always talk about that. Most motivational speakers speak about the best version of you and how to become that better version of you, etc. That version of you 5 years from now, let's just say that version of you is kind of watching you right now. The future you, therefore, is not a stranger, right? It is actually somebody who is you. They are you, just the older version of you, maybe the wiser version of you, living with every choice that you are making, however, today. So the choices you are making today are becoming that future you. How important do those choices have to be then? What are you thinking about before you make the choices? So remember, that exact moment of your choices now become that future you. They know, for example, that future you knows when you hit that snooze button and you delay yourself from going and you procrastinate all the time. I don't want to study now, I'll study tomorrow. I got plenty of time before I do that. The always stopping things from becoming the best version of you. What happens with you? That future you is saying, stop, you got to do it. They're begging you to make best of your time. And that future you is screaming out to you and saying, don't quit on me. Come on, we can do this. And you, however, right now are feeling extra tired, extra exhausted. I can't right now, I'll do it later. But are you making the choices that make that future you proud of the you today? Is the future you actually ashamed of the choices you're making right now? And if that's the case, it's not a give up. It's about now, right now, I got to sit and think, you know what? I got to live like my future self is actually here. Because they are. It is you. And it's about you. That's what the show is about. It's about you. It's being for you and what's the best for you, inshallah. We're talking sacrifice though. And remember, sacrifice is not about just you as an individual with your physique and your mentality and your emotions. It's about your space. So for example, and I spoke about this before because I talk from myself being, that example, how I lived and how my mother still goes on with me about the spaces have to be, the clear. And I learned this because cluttered lives don't receive new things. Okay. You got a packed schedule. You get a crowded mind. You have a very noisy heart that's always been through so much, but there's no room for opportunity for anything to stay, to land there and stay like focused and be there for you and create that stability. What are you doing to change that? So sacrifices can be where you are kind of, think about it as clearing your table. When you clear the table, you're saying no to 10 good things because that one great thing needs to sit down with you. Are you willing to do the sacrifice of clearing that table though? So when you create the space, then inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows there is a space for me to put something in there that is worth the blessing of my person. And we're wanting that. All of us want that. We want the sacrifices to become the best that we can get everything out of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's our creator. He knows you. He knows us best. Why then do we doubt ourselves? If he gives you his mercy, he gives you his forgiveness, he gives you your everything for every day. Why do you doubt you? Why do you think, okay, you know what, maybe not now? Because those delays can also become a form of sacrifice. Sometimes we look for something where we want something done right now. It has to be right now. But that instant gratification can actually be problematic. So sometimes you got to wait up for yourself. You got to know, do I wait 6 months for the skill, for the money to come through, for me to get the help that I want? That wait, for example, is when you're buying that specific thing that I'm waiting for so long. But do I do it starting now? Or do I live with the regret of delaying starting at all? So mastering that delay plan means how I master my life. And who's in charge of you? You are. When you are on that musalla, when you're in your prayer, when you're talking to your creator, there's nobody else. It's just you. And that's where you can be honestly who you are. There's no judgment. There's no anything. There's just you. And when you look at that person of you, that version of you, are you happy with you? Are you happy and content with the person that you are, with what you're giving at home, what you're giving at work? Or are you two different kinds of people in two different spaces? The people at work, are you nice to them? Are you using them? Are you manipulating situations? Are you somebody who hurts other people to get up there? These are things we got to talk about to know about ourselves. Don't label them. Understand them. There's a very big difference. I got to understand these things about me in order for me to make the shift. That's got to be the mentality we all use. I got to know what's wrong with me, what's wrong with my character, what's wrong with certain things to become the better of me. And if I don't know this about me, then everybody that's out there is going to critique me. It's going to become a personal battle. And sometimes it's not about personal battles. It's about your own battle. The battle that you have with yourself and knowing I'm not prepared to change. I'm not prepared to take that analysis and to listen to when people talk. So what is it that you need to sacrifice for you? Remember, throughout our time, throughout our lives, actually, I think every one of us sacrificed certain versions of ourselves. I know I did. I outgrew so many people. I outgrow habits. We all do it every day. Our kids do it every day. And even sometimes our names. Many a time we actually feel like, you know what, this is it, I'm done. But remember, every time you feel that way, it can be your birth. It can be something new that's coming up. So I'm going to use a scenario and just tell you the caterpillar never loses itself in the cocoon. It doesn't. It never does. It dissolves itself to become something with wings. And if you cling to that old version, you're never going to be able to fly. You got to grieve it, you got to thank it, and you got to let it go. And you have got to know that you do not betray your past. If something happened in your past, you don't live there. You don't get stuck there. You move beyond it. And if other people stay stuck in your past, keep throwing it at you, then you don't stay stuck there with them either. You move on because you're not betraying your past. You're honoring your potential from learning from it. So when I say that, I'm asking you, what about your past is hurting you that you are sacrificing your future you right now? And while you think about that, we're going to listen to this beautiful nasheed. Stay tuned.
Radio Al-Anzar, Durban, 90.4 FM. Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
में आता रहूं गर्दिश में आता रहूं मैं यूं फिसलत की गर्दिश में आता रहूं मैं मक्का में आता रहूं मैं पीता रहो घड़ियों बेगम मैं पीता रहो घड़ियों बेगम लगी अपने दिल के बुझाता रहूं मैं लगी अपने दिल के बुझाता रहूं मैं सदा शहर मक्का में आता रहूं करके तुझको मनाता रहूं मैं सही करके तुझको मनाता रहूं मैं तेरे मक्का में आता रहूं हमेशा को आता रहूं मैं सदा शहर मक्का में आता रहूं
The Al-Ansar Foundation, Dawah, Tarbiyah and Education, establishing the foundations of Islamic civilization in South Africa.
Respond to everything. At some point, you stop reacting and start choosing silence out of self-respect. This is just how things are. Because I'm going to be honest with you, every response costs you something, whether it's your peace, your focus, your dignity. There's always a cost to responding to people. And you know what? The reality is the people who provoke you, they already know that. This is why they poke, they push, and this is why they wait for you to bite and react. Over the years, I've learned something, and that is that maturity is realizing that you don't owe everyone an explanation. Strength is knowing that silence often says more than words ever could. This is the reality. Just remember one thing. You don't win every battle by showing up. Sometimes the win is removing yourself emotionally so they keep talking to your absence long after you stop listening. Let them have the last word. while you protect your peace.
Teaching you something new every day. Radio Al Ansar. Call us now on 0861 904 904.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the BU4U Show with myself, Mehreen Mia. And yes, you just heard the Sunnah guy talking to us about reactions and how reactions are actually where your power sits. And what he said was so important in terms of protecting your peace. And you know what? That's something we don't do. We actually give off everything. We feel like we got to make sure we read every message on that WhatsApp. We know you got to react to everything. Somebody says something, I got to say something back. Somebody sends me a message, I got to respond now. Those are things that are sometimes not really necessary. Your reaction is your superpower. And to be able to control that becomes the most important battle of every day. To decide where am I going to go to do what with, what is more deserving of my time and energy. That's also part of sacrifice, right? Because you have to do it for you. Your reaction speaks of you, and everybody perceives you from your reaction. And remember, your reaction becomes an action to something. Everything's a trigger. People will say things, people will do things. There are people out there who will say the worst. They'll do the worst. They'll act against you. You can't control them. The only thing you can control is you. You control you control your reaction to those same people, and that becomes your superpower. And inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be able to make you become that superpower that you need to be, so that you can be that best version like we spoke about. Beautiful messages that come through. I see them, and just very quickly, one says, Salams, what a mashallah topic presented so beautifully. Subhanallah, jazakallah khair for that. Another message, jazakallah for teaching us how to see things differently. Lovely show, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for the message. Another one, salams to everyone. Du'as, please, for all who are very ill. And of course, those who make sacrifices for us as well. Jazakallah khair for that. I love that. You know why? It also makes us realize, yes, there are people out there in our lives that do make sacrifices for us to be who we are. I mean, I wouldn't be me today with the profession I have and be the person I am globally if it weren't for the sacrifices my parents made for me. So I got to be able to always give gratitude for them and the sacrifices they've made. And they were huge sacrifices. Every day, somebody maybe in your life is making some sacrifice for you to just be you. If you are a child going to school and you have someone waking up in the morning, sacrificing that extra sleep, but making sure that they are up to make sure you're getting done, make sure that you picked up on time, make sure that what you like to eat is there for you. These are sacrifices people make. They're small ones, but they make big impact. So the most that we can do with these sacrifices is give gratitude. So thank you so much for that message on how we have to, give thanks to people who sacrifice for us as well. And yes, regarding du'as for all, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant shifa to every single person who is out there and who is ill, whether in a hospital or at home. So thank you so much for the messages. Do keep them coming. It's lovely to know that you are listening to us. You are feeling good about the topics, inshallah. We got many more coming up for you in the few weeks to come. But right now, today we're talking about sacrifice for growth. And we're talking about how sacrifices are about us personally, right? Most often there's something that we do that we don't even think about. And that is what we say to each other, but what we say to ourselves. Words are cheap. And when I talk sacrifice, sometimes you can look at it as if, you think of sacrifice as a kind of a receipt. So you can say every day, all day, family first, family first. But if you are somebody who's really, really got this hectic schedule, how much of family first is your action though? It's on your calendar. It's what you say to everybody, but are you there? Are you there for people when they need you? Or are you just always busy with the, I want success? So if you say to yourself, I want success, does your effort show that you are actually wanting that success? If you are a student right now, and I know many, I'm in a studio with 2 matriculants, for example, who are sitting here watching me, you want the success. You want to make sure you get that matric set. You want the bachelor's. You're going to get into campus. You want to do what you want to do with your life. Are you doing something to know right now I am putting in the effort to show that I actually want that? So saying I want the success, saying I want to be successful is one thing, but are your efforts and your actions actually showing you that you actually do want that? So when you sacrifice for something, you stop guessing what matters. You work it, you prove it. And then you let those sacrifices be so loud that your values don't need to speak at all. It speaks together. Because every transformation for me starts with one thing. And guess where it starts? Not with a movement, not with a statement. Every transformation starts in silence. It starts in silence. If you go back and we talk about, Nuh, for example, in the ark, that was built before it even rained. You will build your new life before anyone else believes in it. You have to be the first one. The loneliness sometimes that you feel is not a punishment. It's sometimes your protection. And sometimes Allah in His wisdom clears that room because He needs you to prepare for something better. He clears the room and clears your space of everybody that you thought you may have loved and did everything for, but they don't appreciate you, and all of them are suddenly not there for you. That's okay. You know why? He knows better. So remember, the room can be empty, but if it's empty, then the right people can show up. That's what I believe. And I learned that the hard way throughout my life. And right now, we don't have to panic when it's the quiet season, is what I want to tell you. The quietness is sometimes where you need to be, and that quietness can prepare us and not make us feel bad. It needs to prepare us and help us to become the best we can be, inshallah, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to go for a very quick break. And I said going to go for a very quick break, inshallah, and be back after this beautiful nasheed. Stay tuned.
Every day's a good day. Did you hear? Your favorite 24-hour dentist has moved? Crown Dental Studio, offering everything your smile needs, from general to cosmetic dentistry. Female practitioner now available upon request. Call us on 081 207 8621 to schedule your next appointment. Or visit our new studio at 26 McCuton Avenue, Durban North. Crown Dental Studio, your 24-hour dentist.
Join me, Buddy Governor, for the Sunday morning edition. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. Coffee, current and public affairs, newspapers, food, trends, health, and nasheeds. Setting you up for a relaxed morning with topical and conversational items, as well as spiritually uplifting and warm nasheeds. Breakfast tips and recipes for a healthy lifestyle. Easygoing intro into your Sunday morning with me, Buddy Governor, the Sunday morning edition.
اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى من اليهود الغاصبين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المرابطين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم شد أزرهم وسدد رميهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم الطف بإخواننا في كل مكان يذكر فيه اسمك يا أرحم الراحمين. استنصروك يا الله فانصرهم. اللهم ارحم الضعفاء والفقراء والمساكين والأيتام والنازحين والمشردين والأسرى يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم أنج المستضعفين من المسلمين في فلسطين. اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا. اللهم كن لإخواننا المرابطين في المسجد الأقصى. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم فرج همهم، نفذ كربهم، داوي جرحاهم، عاف مبتلاهم، اشف مرضاهم، ارحم موتاهم، تقبل شهداءهم.
Up next is Kickoff with Buddy Governor. Stay tuned.
At this time of trial and worry, the blessings of charity are the ideal means to avoid calamity and despair. The Al-Imdad Foundation gives you the opportunity to sponsor a share in a borehole in South Africa for just 1,000 rand and provide what the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, called the best form of charity. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Follow us on Instagram at Radio Al Ansar. You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to BU4U Show with myself, Mehreen Mia. And yes, we are in Pietermaritzburg on 105.6 FM. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the beautiful messages. And you know what? Today for me feels like I'm learning so much from myself. I'm talking to you and I'm talking about instances where I can recall things that I had to sacrifice or went through or the pains that I got through. And so sometimes when we talk like this, it's so good because it brings us back to who we have to be. It kind of keeps us grounded, makes us realize, you know what, you've been there, you've done this, so you can say it. And I know somebody out there, inshallah, is going to take something that I've said and it's going to be resonating with you to make that positive impact, to make you realize you are worthy, you are loved, and inshallah, Allah is going to make it easy for you to make that best version of you become possible, even with the little bits of sacrifices that you have to make. But before I continue with my closing and some things that I want to say, let us listen to this.
Go the way I want them to. Why don't things go my way? I don't understand why God keeps punishing me with another bad day. Alright, let me help you think differently. What if that bad day you cursed saved you from something worse? You think you lost because it hurt, because it broke your plan, but maybe it was shaping you into a stronger man. You question him in anger, you're frustrated in your rage. But how many times has what felt wrong later made you change? So next time life feels upside down and nothing goes your way, don't call it punishment too fast, because you might thank him one day.
Your station, my station, our station, Radio Al Ansar.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban, 90.4 FM, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Audio stream across the world on radioalansar.co.za.
My youth passed by so quickly, left all my dreams in the back. We used to dream with paper planes, wrapped in decay, planning our escape. Scars on my skin, learn from my mistakes. Tears in my eyes, wiped up from my face. The thought disappears till I hear my name. 'Cause mama calling now, I'm an hour late. The older I get, the harder I fall. My dreams were so big, even though I was small. I was told that I can't, I'm still gonna try. I'm up in the clouds, with no wings I'm a fly, won't fly away. Fly away. Fly away. Won't fly.
Every single place I go, people call me foreign. Lay low lately, that don't mean I can't be sorry. Other side of the globe, somewhere I ain't never been. I was searching everywhere, forgot to look within. Now I understand the world is bigger than the block. Used to play hot lava, posted at the park. Now my Akis carry lava cause the block is hot. Where did all the years go? Can't change the past, but our future yet to unfold. Gotta keep myself driven, never neutral. I've been writing with a purpose, so I speak it for my soul. Gotta do this for my youngest till the day I die. Even if I don't succeed, I can say I tried. You still smile cause the pain we just kinda hide. Just trying to show my people you don't need no wings to fly. The older I get, the harder I fall.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to BU4U Show, produced and presented by myself, Mehreen Mia. We had to go for that nasheed break because the throat became a bit scratchy. But anyway, we got through that. Thanks to our techs who are just so good when it comes to these things. Seriously, text run boss. I say it again and again. So we're talking today about sacrifices for growth, okay? And here's the thing about sacrifices. The right sacrifice is going to feel like it's the biggest grief that you are going through. If you don't cry a little bit, then you're not going to feel like you're giving up something. Because any form of grief, for example, means that something real just left you. And when you sacrifice for a proper cause, for something that's with proper niyat, your intention is clean, then, it's like quitting something that you have to quit because it's going to be the better. Your heart is going to ache. The ache is going to be the proof, though, that you are serious about the sacrifice you are making. So cry, but then you keep walking. Those tears are watering that ground, where your life is going to grow. So I want us to remember that something. We have to always take cognizance of what we are going to sow, we are going to reap. People say that. But what are you putting into your garden right now for you? What are you putting into your soil that's going to grow up for you? How are you nurturing that, if anything at all? The point of the matter is that if it's about you, who's in control of you? We turn to Allah 5 times a day. SubhanAllah, He's given us that as such a mercy that we got to break what we're doing 5 times a day and return to Him and go back to what we're doing. Each time it is not just to go there for the sake of fulfilling what is a fard to do, what is meant for us to do. It is a reason behind the wisdom of that is why. Why do you have to break 5 times a day to go to pray? Because you have to keep returning to be humble. You have to go back there and recall in that time of your salah. Think about what have you done between the previous salah and that one. What might you need to change from that one to the following one? These are little things you got to think about. But in order to get the answer ready, you have got to know you well enough. And if you don't know you well enough, how are you going to do the sacrifices necessary then? So you got to know when to say no. You got to know when to say yes to yourself. Because sacrifice has to have direction. And when you have sacrifices that you are making with positive intent and you have direction, you're going to build bridges for yourself. It's not going to become a prison and a cage that you're putting yourself into. And that means you got to have some discipline. So to all of you who are learning right now for exams, to all of you who are going through something that you have to pick up, discipline, discipline, and discipline. And discipline is going to hurt you for 20 minutes. But remember something, that your regret is going to haunt you for 20 years. So do you want to actually do the discipline now with the sacrifice of maybe a little bit of sleep, sacrifice to wake up a bit earlier, sacrifice to make sure I'm hitting my books so that I know I'm going to make sure the grades are happening and I get what I need to make myself successful? Or do you want to wait for 10 years from now where you're going to sit with the regret? So discipline versus regret, and you yourself will know where you're at, because nobody ever said, I wish I played less games with my grandchild. They always said, I wish I did. Okay, I wish I called the person. I wish I'd done this. I wish I did actually take, less sleep for that day because I needed to do extra. You can, and it starts now. You need to choose the pain that gives you the result you are looking for. That's what sacrifice is about. That self that you are protecting mustn't be the self that keeps you stuck. That's the most important part of today. And I'm saying this because that was me. I used to be that person. I used to be that person who was so stuck always because I was scared of the next step, purely because of the pain and abuse that I'd gone through. And I had to get through that. Okay. That's for a whole nother story altogether. But I need for you all to realize that when you sacrifice, and you sacrifice for the best of niyat and intention, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes every other step easy. And that becoming unstuck is so important, because we always cling to those old versions of ourselves. And unfortunately, society today also gets stuck in our old versions of us because it makes more sense for them to stay there. But you got to grow you. So you have to stop being the people pleaser. Stop asking for everything that has to be for everybody else first. It's you first. And that's not selfish. That's necessary. You're the one who has to be looking out for you. The show is about you. It's for you. Protect you first. Your armor may be heavy, but you have to be able to do what you got to do. You don't grow by adding. You grow by letting go sometimes. And letting go of what's necessary to grow you is what today's show was about. The sacrifices that are necessary. Because fear is something that's going to rule you. What you refuse to release, what you refuse to let go of is talking about you. What is it about you that you need to shift? I'm going to say this in my closing. because I know my brother Buddy Govin is probably in the studio there. They've been waiting to come through. You got kickoff straight after me, so you have to stay tuned. Those nasheeds are just phenomenal that he's going to play. But I want you to just remember this from today, right? You have to get out of that comfort zone, because fear is going to rule you through what you refuse to release. You know, your image, your certainty, your backup plans. As long as you are clutching onto those, you're not really free. So that sacrifice that you need to make is that act of opening up your hands. When you're making your dua, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what can I sacrifice to make me the best version of me that pleases you first, my Allah, because I want to live my best for you, but I want to be the best I can be for the balance of my journey. What falls sometimes is never wasted. And what remains is obviously going to be yours for the best version of you, for your balance of your journey. But you have got to make the call. The truth cuts through it. The price of becoming who you are sometimes is always paid in little pieces of who you were before. And sometimes your journey back then, where people stay stuck, but you moving away from those pains, those anguishes, the whatever you went through, those were bad things. Sometimes you may regret them, yes, but you know what? Those were your stepping stones. Those were beautiful places and things that you had to go through, painful experiences, but those were your lessons. And you pay it willingly and you say, you know what? Thank you for them. Thank you, Allah, that I went through them, and thank you for saving me, because now I'm good. Now I'm okay. And I am going to make more sacrifices to be the best version of me. That is what you got to do. Important points for us all. I know I got to wrap up. But anyway, take lessons for myself today as I do for everybody else, inshallah. Remember me as I will remember you in my du'as, inshallah. Ameen. Do remember all of our students. I got 2 of them with me. Just came to be comfort zones in the studio. They want to know what a studio looks like. So all of you out there who are studying and who are trying to write for your exams and etc., inshallah, Allah make it easy for every one of you. Ameen. And to everyone who is sick, like I had messages that come through, please, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we all want to make dua for them. Let Allah, inshallah, give them complete shifa. And until you hear from me again, don't forget, we got to keep making dua for our people of Gaza and every person in every war-torn area. This evening, you got Nightline coming up at the end with my brother, Muhammad Vario and Dr. Anwar Jiwa. But next up is brother Buddy Govin with Kickoff. So stay tuned, because there's amazing stuff lined up for you. Jazakallah khair to brother Kumalu and my amazing brother Spoo there in Durban. Yes. Until next time, or just Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. inshallah. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
जब कर्म होता है हालात बदल जाते हैं इसमें अहमद का वजीफा है हर एक गम का इलाज इसमें अहमद का वजीफा है हर एक गम का इलाज लाख खतरे हो इसी नाम से डर जा
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al-Ansar News.
The Madlanga Commission has submitted its second interim report to